Welcome to the fight of your life. Are you willing to die to shine? Nobody is taking us down. We are here for the crown of sound.
Hey, it's Matt Pinfield and Josh Bernstein here for the Power Hour with the one and only Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Chad, it's so good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, Matt, man. So good to see you.
You know,
Yeah, been a while.
It's been a while, but it's good to be here. And I got to say, Chad, what an incredible year you guys have had. I mean, you released Unlimited Love, which is such a great record, debuted right at #1, you know, and got that, you know, star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which was just, you know, I got to be there for all those incredible things in the show at the Fondo, where you did a small show, your first show. Yeah, I did.
You went.
It was incredible.
Great. Yeah, was that fun?
Yeah, it was so good.
Tiny little place.
Yeah, it was cool.
Now we're at the giant festival.
Yeah, louder than life.
Louder than life.
Yeah, it's-
Woo!
That's it.
I think maybe Papa Roach is louder than life right now, maybe. I don't know who it is.
This is Incubus just went on, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chad, talk to me about, like, you know, you guys recorded so much music during the pandemic. Tell me about, because Unlimited Love, you know, is incredible. But let's talk about how you got the news came out. You're going to drop another double album with Return of the Dream Canteen. Talk to me about that incredible amount of music you guys did.
Well, you know, we were so fortunate to have the time from an unfortunate situation, the pandemic, of this sort of open-ended time to create and make music, and there was no deadline, no who knows what's going to happen, and so we just powered through and wrote. We always write more music than comes out on the records, and we kind of pick the best ones that all go together, but we wrote so much music, you know, having John back in our group again, and we were re-inspired in many ways, and Rick Rubin producing us again. Got the whole band back together, and we just went on a tear, you know, and it was just coming out, and so we put out Unlimited Love, like you're saying. We love that record, but we had so many really good songs on as well that often those songs get left behind, or they're, you know, don't get finished, or they end up in the vault for the anthology 2020, whatever. And we were like, fuck that, we'll just put it out. Our fans will love it, and we're gonna tour all next year as well. So it's not like a B-sides record or anything. They're all great.
Great songs you guys are really proud of.
Yeah, very proud of them. Yeah,
Well, think
absolutely.
about
It's
that,
different. You know, we did maybe think a little bit like, you know, these all go together and these all go together, because we still think of our records as one piece of art, you know. So yeah, you know, there's a song that just came out called Eddie.
The one about Eddie Van Halen.
About Eddie Van Halen, the great late, and we wrote that literally like 2 days after he passed away, and Flea came in with a bass line, and we all jumped in, and out came this song, and it happens sometimes. And I think it has one of John Frusciante's longest solos on the end. He's just like doing all of his shit, man. It's pretty cool. So, you know, and then we have funk stuff. We have a whole wide palette. But we're real proud of it. We're excited about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Tip of my tongue on that record too. You got
Yeah, just something magical, right? About you four guys together, plus, you know, Rick Rubin, you know, reuniting the Blood Sugar Sex Magic, you know, all stars, and, you know, what is about, you know, the four of you back together with John, but also working with Rick, that you think that makes everything so special?
I mean, you know, Rick is we love him. He's our friend, like you said. He's been working with us since Blood Sugar. He's made all of our records except for the one before this, but we felt it was a natural kind of thing to have him come back in the fold. You know, we're a band that has a special chemistry, and the chemistry also when we play together in a room and record like that is something special that we have. Recording processes, you know, now in the modern technology, people fly files around, and, you know, are not in the room at the same time, and that's fine. If it works, it works. But for us, there is something magical when we just get in a room and fucking dig
Sure.
in, and we're looking at each other and we're playing it, and it's a performance. And Rick is really good at capturing that, and he knows
Absolutely.
us so well.
I would think for drums, your drums always sound just massive, right? You know,
He's
just
great, you know. Yeah, he's you know, he makes us sound like if you're standing in the room with us, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
There's no studio trickery or nothing.
He lets you
know,
be you,
No,
yeah.
it's us and we wanted to get back to that kind of thing, and it was really great, and he's just a smart guy, you know, and
sure.
makes our songs better, and we love him. So yeah, he was an easy choice, and he came to see us practice. We hadn't played any of our songs. No one was there. Pandemic.
Yeah.
One guy, Chris Warren, who's been our guy that we trust, and he was there, and the four of us, and we're just in a room. We show up every day with our masks on, and we can go to work, and we rehearse, and we wrote all these songs. And then we said we had probably 25, 30 songs. We said, well, maybe we'll have Rick come down. And Rick hadn't been anywhere. Like, he hadn't maybe even left his house. And he drove to Santa Monica, came to the studio we were at, and he walked in. I hadn't seen him in a long time. And I could see, though, he was emotionally, like, kind of overwhelmed by seeing the four of us back in a room together, making that music that we do with people that he loves. And he wasn't like, oh, right, you know, he wasn't in producer mode, like, what about that, or try that thing, or, you know, arrangement stuff. He was just walking around, just looking at us like, wow, this is great, man. This is great. Wow. You know, and he told me on the way home he cried. He was he got really, you know, it was so cool. So he's, you know, I think as many people as Rick Rubin's worked with, and you know,
all of them.
Yeah.
the whole spectrum.
Yep.
You guys are his family.
We might be. You know, I think there is something like that, Matt. You're right, and it means a lot to him. It's not just another gig, you know. So there's some special sauce in these.
It's like De Niro working with Scorsese, right? It's always going to be good. It's always.
You hope so.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. If the writing is good,
Right.
whatever that, you got to write good songs. But everything else, he makes it really easy and fun and creative.
That's so
Chad,
great.
I gotta say that it's amazing because seeing the tour, seeing the shows that are in the stadiums, actually getting to be at that first show at the Fonda was so beautiful because, I mean, it gave me so much unbelievable joy to see you guys up on that stage again, the four of you. It was amazing for me and everybody in the room, and of course getting the Walk of Fame, the Hollywood Star, which I can't think of a band who deserves it more than you guys, you know, after all this time.
We're pretty Hollywood as far as Hollywood goes. Yeah, they asked us a few times before, and it just the time didn't feel right, or I can't remember what, you know, was, I don't know, but this felt right, and John being back and our record coming out, and it just felt like the right time to do that. You know, my mother, who's 96 years old,
Wow.
she'd seen a lot of stuff and been so great to see my success and with the band and everything, but you know, she's, oh, you know, you did this or did that's great, or your record's #1, that's great. But when I told her we were getting a star on the walk, she's like, oh, Carol Burnett has a star on the Walk of, wow. She was like, oh, that's a big deal. I was like, okay, Mom, great.
That's great, you know? That's a fantastic thing.
I love that no matter how big and famous you are, it is still, if you could still have to impress your mom, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
96
Man,
guys, I
and
love that.
I know, and again, she's getting up there. God bless her. And we played in Detroit. I don't know, a month or so ago. We played at the baseball stadium, and she came and she brought all her friends and the eye doctor, not the foot doctor. I don't like him. The eye doctor gets to come. The guy that fixed the dishwasher. You know, the guy that cleans the gut. You know, so she was rolling deep.
Oh man.
And she's in a wheelchair. And at the end of the show, I said, you know, this is big. I grew up in Detroit. It's such an amazing thing to play the baseball stadium and the whole thing. And my brother came in. My mother said we had a lot of people. And so I said, you know, my mom's 96. She's here. She's right over here. Do you want to see her? They're like, ah. So my nephew wheels my mom out onto the stage, Comerica Park, and they're and she gave like this queen kind of wave, real cool, her chili pepper earrings on it, and we wheel her off, and she's still talking about it.
Yeah.
She was a big.
Oh,
So
what a beautiful moment.
Yeah, I mean,
Beautiful thing you do for your mom, for you, just
my
like
mother, I was a bit of a rascal. I know you guys find that hard to believe.
No, sir.
I gave her a bit of a hard time when I was a younger rebel, but yeah, anything you can do, especially in her how she is now and stuff. So that she was queen for the day for sure.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. So yeah, I mean those kind of things, they happen. It's a nice part of it. But we want to just keep making just music because we love it and it's from the heart and it's authentic and I think people connect with that, and that's important. And so we're so happy to be out again with everything that's happened, concerts again, and played all over Europe, and the crowds are incredible, and we're so happy to be playing. They're so happy to be coming. Like I'm sure this thing, I'm so looking forward to this. It's a great. People really. You take it for granted, a lot of things in life, and then when they're gone, you're like, fuck. And then when it comes back, it's really, it's special.
it's really beautiful also to see how your audience is just from young kids who've discovered the band somehow, through new streaming services or, a parent or older brother, and they become fans. So at your shows now, I mean, it's multi-generational, multiracial. I love the feel to see that. It's an incredibly universal thing.
It's wild. I see parents with their kids singing the songs together, and like, it's amazing. I don't know, other than what I just told you before about the heart and the connecting, and we mean it, and we love it. But if I could bottle that shit, man, everyone would want. Because, you go to shows sometimes and it's just these people or just this kind of demographic or whatever. We've somehow managed to stay relevant and also, have people that love our music from the old shit to the new stuff. And it's amazing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I really other than what I said, but I mean, everyone, you can try, but we just do what we do, and really like in making records, and we want to sound selfish, but we want to please ourselves. We want us to, when we're happy with it, then you let it go, and then it's everybody's. It's not yours anymore. But I think that's really important. We're not preconceived trying to make a song like one from 20 years ago or whatever. Just like it's new, it's fresh. This is where we're at now as people and as musicians and as a band, and we don't take songs from 5 years ago. We just make them, and that's a snapshot of who we are, right? And I think that has maybe a part to do with that. We're always trying to change and grow as an artist and as musicians. I think that's important. So we're just going to keep doing that until, for whatever reason, that doesn't happen anymore, then we won't. We're not going to drag it out for 20 more. See, I would be 80 then, so I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't know. Sounds like you have good genes. I don't know. Sounds like.
I hope I get my mom's genes.
Yeah.
They're
They're gonna wheel you out of Comerica Park.
You never know.
I always wanted to ask you as well. You're obviously known, obviously as such a great drummer, right? And a drummer of your generation, so fantastic. Is there anyone that you've seen coming up, as you've been out here at the festivals and whatnot, or lately, that is, might have caught?
A lot of good musicians, a lot of good drummers, young drummers. I was rehearsing for the Taylor Hawkins thing on Tuesday, and I was at their studio, and so it was. I walk in and it's me, Travis Barker, Brad Wilk from Rage, obviously Dave, Omar Hakim, a fantastic.
He was great on the Wembley show.
He was on the Wembley show. He's an idol of mine, and then there's Shane Hawkins, who's 15, and he's banging on everything and banging on me, and I'm like, and it's like, it kind of freaked me out. I mean, I know Shane, I've known him since he was a little boy, but like, he's it's a new thing, and for him to be playing honoring his father is fantastic, of course, amazing. But you still got to be able to play and do it. And man, when he got up there and played My Hero, I was just like, wow.
Yeah, that was. I haven't felt anything like that in so long. I was just watching. It was beautiful.
It was so incredible. Yeah, on many levels. But he killed it on the drums, man. He fucking killed it.
And how often do you get to sort of? I know you mentioned so many of your incredible peers, but usually all the singers get together, all the guitarists, that's all the drummers getting together. I feel like it was a spotlight not only just on Taylor, but on drummers in general, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
And the drummers, sometimes they're kind of the unsung guys in the back,
I have heard the sexiest and the coolest.
That's
all I've heard.
They get.
I mean,
no
lies detected.
I'll let you say that. No, there is some kind of, and I don't know what. Maybe it's, the drums. You have to be the solid guy. The guy you can depend on. It's the time. It's the groove. The feel. I mean, in rock and roll, and certainly the way that those guys that I mentioned, the way that they play. But there's not a huge ego. We're not out front, doing our poses and throwing shapes like guitar players, singers. Not all of them, maybe. They're out there, and that's fine. And we're in the back. We're kind of, we're like the
holding down the fort,
or the catcher and the baseball team. Yeah, holding it down. So there's some camaraderie amongst those guys, and we all kind of understand our roles maybe, and everyone's a little bit different, but through the years the drummers are always usually the more cool guys in the band.
And I saw you. It was great because last time we saw each other hung, it was at Ohana Festival with NHC, and it was you, and it was Taylor, and it was Matt Cameron, and it was such a great group of guys all hanging out.
We've known each other a long time, all those, and
of course, right?
Yeah, shit. Taylor and I go back to, when he was in Alanis Morissette, and obviously the Foo Fighters. We played with them quite a bit, years ago. But yeah, it's now the drum. I guess maybe I'm biased, but how about this? Name me a great band that doesn't have a great drummer.
I agree. Drummers say it starts with the drummer.
There can't be a great band with a good drummer.
No.
Can't.
Right?
Can't. All the bands we love growing up, we've talked about it, you and I, many times, but all the records we grew up on that we loved,
Well, that's the line, right? You're only as good as your drummer. That's what I've always heard.
Yeah.
I'll let you say it. But no, I just did. Though. But I mean, the guy, he's making people go like this, tap their feet, fucking clap. The drums have to be solid, man. And those guys I just mentioned, they're all incredible drummers. So I come into the room and I was like, whoa, and hey man, we're all like, whoa, and I was like, I look around and I'm like, if a bomb went off in here, the 90s would fucking be dead.
That's unbelievable. It's so great.
But we're still doing it and loving it, and I'm so honored and proud to be part of this. I had to play in Philadelphia the night of the London Taylor thing. I would have been there. I watched most of it. I was fucking amazing. But I'm so happy to be playing it on Tuesday. I get to play the song "Working Man" with Rush.
Oh my God, that's amazing! Oh my God,
That is the riff.
So great. I'm so excited from that first Rush album.
That an anthem.
John Rutsey. But of course, the great late Neil, and those guys are so happy to be playing again. Here's another really cool thing about this is that they did one thing at Red Rocks, Geddy and Alex from Rush, with the guys from South Park not too long ago. Right. And the Primus guys were doing like moving pictures or hemispheres or one of their records, and they played along with it, and they were part of the show, and they loved it, enjoyed the hell out of it. Those guys missed playing. Yeah. They couldn't play anymore. Neil couldn't do it anymore, but they still want to play. And I think this, and then doing this Taylor thing again, I think has gotten them kind of rejuvenated. Maybe we can do it with Primus, or because that was such a huge hole with Neil.
Yeah.
You can't replace fucking Neil, period.
One of the greatest or most unique drummers.
Yeah, exactly, and been with them for 40 whatever years, but at the end of the day, they were like, "This is what we do. We've always done what," and all of a sudden, what? They don't do it, and they still obviously can play. So maybe this will inspire them. But for me to be able to play with Rush, I mean, when I was 15,
You play air drum to these songs, right? Nonstop.
And Fly By Night came out. Remember when Fly By Night came out?
Yeah, I
With
do.
Neil. What an album that was.
But the record for me when I was 15 was 2112.
Oh yeah.
And I put the fucking 8-track in, Kevin Sharenzia's Grand Safari, and smoke weed in the parking lot before going to school, like every day. We are the peace. I mean, I was like in. Changed my fucking drum set out, the cowbells, the splat, the whole thing. I mean, I had my Neil phase, which I think any rock drummer of their salt should do, because he's so important. Anyway, if you would have told me you'd be playing Rush at the fucking Forum, I would have said you're from fucking Mars, or whatever. But it's incredible now for me. But real quick, so I'm having lunch with Alex. We've met over the years, and in Toronto, before the London show. And I said, "What are you gonna do?" "Oh, we're doing the 2112 Opus with Dave, and then we're doing YYZ because he's Canadian." With Omar Hakim and Working Man with Dave. And I was like, "Oh, that's so great. Oh, man, those are fucking awesome." And we've always kind of wanted to play together, me and Alex. And so I'm like, "Man, I would love to do Working Man with you guys, And he's like, "Oh, well, I think that would be great." He's like the nicest guy. "That would be great. Dave's playing the whole show. I'm sure it would be fun." I immediately get my phone out. "Dave, Alex wants me to play Working Man with him."
He does not want you.
Whoop.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Absolutely, Chad. I was like, yes! I told Al, he laughed. He's like, great, man. So that's going to happen, and then I'm going to play You Ought to Know, the Alanis Morissette song.
Oh, great.
With the Foos and her, which is great. And then Everlong with the Foo Fighters. So.
We had Alanis here last week at the Bourbon Festival. Performed the same night as Jack White. Fantastic.
Good.
First time seeing her live. Oh, she was incredible.
Oh, great.
Incredible. She really stole the crowd
We haven't
here.
rehearsed yet, so I'm looking forward to that. Just to have her, obviously, part of it.
And Matt, you're going to be there too, right? You're going to the.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Oh man, I'm so
Absolutely.
jealous.
Yeah,
I'll be
great.
tuning in.
So good. Yeah, it's awesome.
It's going to be a long one.
Yeah.
Bring comfortable shoes.
I will. Chad, I want to say how much we appreciate you taking the time to do this today.
Great to see you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is great, Chad. Thank you.
Yeah, love seeing you. Always love talking to you, man.
Always. You're
Yeah,
the best.
music.
You're the best. We go back.
Yeah.
We may have got up
Way
to some
back.
shenanigans back then. I'm not
Yes,
sure.
Yes, we did. Maybe. Yeah, maybe a little. Yeah, right, exactly.
Now we're mature adults.
Yes.
We go home. We have our tea. We go to bed.
Yeah, exactly. Chad, thanks again so much for doing this with Josh and I. Josh, you want to take it out?
Chad Smith, Red Hot Chili Peppers. This has been the Power Hour Backstage. We'll see you there.